Welcome to the Lean Body Mind Podcast. My name is Steve, and I will be your host and companion over the next, 15, 20 minutes, give or take, as we talk about what's going on with the Lean Body Mind channel, its future, and who knows, maybe I come up with something inspirational or funny to say. Now, the first thing I want to do is address a couple of comments from some of my viewers. One was related to dress code, and this particular viewer wants me to keep wearing the goofy t-shirts that I wear on Serious Keto. Well, that's really sort of my Serious Keto personality. My personality here on Lean Body Mind is really going to be more reflective of who I was as a corporate trainer and coach, which means I'm going to be probably dressing business casual. It's just my thing. So I'm more comfortable this way when I'm talking about lean and Six Sigma and continuous improvement and all of that stuff. So hopefully that's not a deal breaker for any of you. I promise I will still keep wearing the goofy t-shirts on Serious Keto. The other concern that a few of my viewers have stated is they're worried that maybe I'm pushing myself a little too hard right now with two channels, trying to keep videos going at a regular pace, trying to keep videos going while I'm on little vacations, like picking up Courtney down in Mississippi, and in another week I'm going to be away camping for a week up in northern Wisconsin. My response to that is, yeah, it is. It is stressful. It's been kind of hard just banging out videos. There's some days where, I'll film 3 videos. I want to make sure that I've got enough material to sustain both channels in situations where I'm sort of out of pocket. And I think another situation that's going to happen towards the end of August will be helping Courtney move to college. So, I need to kind of push myself right now to have enough material. Don't feel bad for me. I don't feel bad for me. I think throughout a lot of my life, I've been unwilling to stress myself or really push myself hard in the short term for longer term benefit. And in this regard, I think I was kind of taught a little bit of a lesson by Connor and Courtney and the sacrifice that they both made going off into the Army National Guard and being willing to be away from family and to endure what they endured for sort of a long-term thought process, which is, no college debt and really kind of being more prepared for life. So if they can do that for months, I can spend a couple of months really working hard on these 2 channels. So don't worry about it. Gonna keep the videos coming. You won't hear any complaints out of me. You won't hear any complaints out of me. Another thing you've likely noticed already is the backdrop back here. This is something I'm going to experiment with a little bit in some videos. I think especially once I start getting into any sort of teaching type of a video, just having other stuff in the background I think is sort of a distraction. So to have something like this, a photographic background that's more neutral, that then I can put pictures up right here or screenshots, whatever it is, I think that is just going to look better and be less of a distraction than seeing guitars on the wall and things like that. I'll still be shooting videos outside from time to time when the weather cooperates. Today, it's actually too nice. It is too nice in southeast Wisconsin to be outside filming, just because the sunlight is so bright. There would be no real way that I could set up that either my face wasn't in shadows or that I wasn't squinting. So that gave me an opportunity to try out the new backdrop downstairs. We'll see how that goes. I don't know that I'll get fancy enough that I'll start doing any green screen stuff. That might be kind of over the top. Who knows? Now, if you're a regular follower of Serious Keto, and I suspect most of you are, you're aware that I'm working on a couple of different collaborations. First off, there's the ongoing work I'm doing with Dennis from Black Tie Kitchen, including the podcast from this week and next week. But also, you may be seeing me in one of his videos soon. So there's that. It's not a flattering camera angle because I'm not going to tell you anymore. I'm going to leave it as a surprise. But the angle that I wound up filming myself from in order to get this shot makes me look about 50 pounds heavier than I am. So just so you know, I don't have like a neck like this that's like super double, triple chin. What else? Oh yeah, I talked a little bit in my last podcast on Serious Keto about my chat with Wes from Highfalutin Low Carb. He and I are absolutely positively going to do something together. And what's interesting is with both of these guys, how rapidly we hit it off and how rapidly we really kind of opened up on a personal level to one another and became internet friends. And I started thinking about why that is. How can a couple of people connect that rapidly and that deeply? And I think a lot of it just has to do with shared experience. You know, being a YouTube content creator is a very unique experience, especially once you start getting a larger channel and get to deal with both the ups and the downs of that, including a lot of the comment management, the schedule, the stress, the website stuff, coming up with new ideas, all of that. And I think that's one of the reasons that we hit it off so well, both me and Wes and me and Dennis, or Dennis and me and Wes and me, I guess would be the grammatically correct way to say it. And as I was thinking through it, I actually remembered back when I was in college and getting my public relations minor. So I had two majors, organizational management and marketing, and then a minor in public relations. And as part of that, I had an internship with the Milwaukee Brewers baseball organization. And as I talked to my boss, the director of public relations, who at the time was Tom Skybosh, super duper guy. I really liked him, great sense of humor. But he said that the reason he gets along, there's sort of a fraternity, if you will, of the public relations people in sports, especially for any given sport, like Major League Baseball. At the time, I think there was 32 teams. I'm not even sure how many teams there are in Major League Baseball right now. But at the time, I'm pretty sure it was 32. Might have been 30. I don't know. This was back in 1990. So anyhow, I digress. Tom told me that he's got a job that only 31 other people on the planet have. And it's such a unique thing that you really sort of form this bond with other people that do that same job. And during games, I would sit up in the press box with all of the press and the various public relations people from both the Brewer organization and whatever the visiting team was. And you sense that there was this family sort of feel, the way that people got along and joked with one another, and just sort of the silliness that went on up in the press box. It was a lot of fun. And I think that's sort of the same thing that I experienced with Dennis and Wes, and who knows, maybe somebody else at some point down the line, some other YouTube content creator, whether that's in the keto realm or whether something off of the continuous improvement realm. But none of that really has anything to do with continuous improvement, so now let's shift gears and actually get into what this channel is all about. I was thinking the other day about regret. I wasn't experiencing regret, I was just thinking about it, and how somebody once said that most of the time when people feel regret, it's not regret for something they did, but regret for something they didn't do. And when I was teaching Lean Startup at GE, one of the things I tried to convince people of is be willing to step out of your comfort zone. Very often, what holds us back is not someone else. It's ourselves. It's ourselves telling us, oh, that's too hard. I can't do that. I'll never be able to do that. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the energy, whatever. It's usually us that talk ourselves out of things. And then we hit a point in life where now our new excuse is we're too old. Oh, I wish I would have done that back when I was still young. And I convey this to the class through an exercise where I'm having them design a game. And I'm the customer, they're designing a game. And what's interesting is when I send them off with some instructions, no one ever comes back and asks for any more clarity. And I've discovered this is not just strictly a GE thing, although GE people tend to think they're super smart and can just run off and do anything. It's happened as well in other organizations where I've taught. And people will get done with the exercise and they'll present their game to me, and I'll tell them, well, this is not what I'm looking for. Why didn't you come and ask me? I've been sitting up at the front of the room for the last 45 minutes, and not a single one of you has come up and asked me any sort of clarifying questions. Why not? And people would say, well, you didn't say we could. And I would say, but I didn't say you couldn't. Very often we assume that there are rules when there are not rules. And like I said, then what we wind up doing is we wind up being the person that shuts down our own best effort. So what I would tell them at the end of the class, my little Zen sort of moment, was be like a squirrel. A squirrel never doubts that it can make a jump from one branch to another. A squirrel doesn't look at a telephone line and think, wow, that's kind of narrow. I wonder if I can run across that. They just do it. They just move. So be a squirrel. So the way that I decided to be a squirrel was probably, I think I was about 38 when I started this. I would try and do something really out of my comfort zone once a year. And usually it would wind up happening fairly close to my birthday. So the first year, I think what it was, I was at the Milwaukee Rumble with a friend of mine. It was a tough man competition, sort of a kickboxing, tough man, semi-mixed martial arts sort of thing. And when you're there and everybody's, it's all guys mostly, and, everybody's all, fueled on testosterone and beer, everybody thinks they can get into the ring. You've got so many people, they're booing people that are up in the ring, which takes a tremendous amount of courage to get up in front of a few thousand people and get punched in the face a whole bunch. But you have all kinds of people in the crowd saying, I could do that. The reality is, no, most people cannot. But I said, next year I'm going to do that. So I went to a local gym, and again, I was probably around 200 pounds at that time. And I went to a local boxing club where I think I was one of the only 2 English-speaking people. Everybody else was Mexican or Puerto Rican. So I had to learn a little bit of Spanish so that when the coach was yelling out, like derecha, derecho. Yeah, derecho is right? I should have been paying more attention. At least then I would know which side of my face I was about to get hit on. But I trained so hard for several months. I got down to 184 pounds, which put me then in the light heavyweight category. And it was crazy. This was definitely before I was doing keto. I simply could not eat enough to keep from losing weight because I was working out that hard. Anyhow, long story short, if it's not too late for that already, is I fought in the Milwaukee Rumble. And I did not win my fight and did not progress then to the next match, but I never took a step backwards. And it was one of the most exciting things I've ever done. I got hit a lot. Nose got broken, blood vessels in my eyes got busted up, my lips all cut up, even though I had a mouthpiece in. But like I said, I never took a step backwards, and it was just super, super thrilling just to hear thousands of people cheering. Now, I'm not saying you should do that. That was my thing. That was the thing I was going to do to really get out of my comfort zone and challenge myself and see what I was capable of. The next year, I got up, I think it may have even been on my birthday. I think I was on a business trip on my birthday, or very close to my birthday, and I was at I think it's called the Excalibur in Chicago. It's a large castle-shaped bar, and they had a house band playing, and you could pay, $20 or whatever to get up and sing a song with them. And I did, and I got up and sang Mustang Sally, and felt I did a pretty good job at it. And that, as an introvert, also sort of way out of my comfort zone, to get up in front of a large crowd, including a couple dozen coworkers, and just belt out Mustang Sally. So here is my challenge to you. Think about that thing that you've often thought you'd like to do, but you've talked yourself out of. That could be a trip. That could be writing a book. That could be getting up and giving a speech at Toastmasters. Whatever that thing is that you would like to do, but you recognize it's just a little out of your comfort zone. Put together a plan and figure out how you're going to get it done before your next birthday. Give it a try. And I think once you accomplish that, you're going to start realizing how much potential you have. And it's going to encourage you to try more. So give it a shot. I'd be curious to know. Let me know down in the description below, after you've thought about this for a couple of minutes, what is going to be the thing you do before your next birthday. The final thing that I want to talk about as it relates to lean and continuous improvement is a couple of comments that I got about how it's impossible to continuously improve. And I would say yes and no to that. First off, if there's a product or a process, there is a point to which you can improve it before it gets to the point that the juice isn't worth the squeeze, as I say sometimes. That it's going to take more effort to improve it than whatever benefit you're going to get out of it. There's also just sort of a ceiling in terms of how much you can improve a given product or process. You can only make a candle so much better before it's time to make a light bulb. And you can only make an incandescent light bulb so much better before it's time to move on to something else, like LED, for example. Now, what I hope is going to be one of the cool things about this channel is that we're not looking to improve a specific business process or product. We're improving our lives. And I doubt that most of us, no matter how much we improve on any given day, we're going to hit our ceiling. I think the potential within all of us is so vast. And the goal of this channel isn't to get any of us to be perfect, but to just be a little bit better tomorrow than we were today. To be a little bit more efficient tomorrow than we were today. To be a little bit happier tomorrow than we were today. To be a little bit more productive. Sometimes that's going to mean just little tweaks to the things that we do. It could be just changing the order of operations in what we do, whether that's cooking or cleaning or our morning routine. It could be changing some of the tools that we use for cooking or cleaning or exercise or whatever. And it could also mean that we hit as good as we can get with the tools that we've got, and then it becomes time to innovate, to try something completely new and completely original. And since I trained in innovation, we'll talk about that in a future video. And I know it maybe feels like as I'm doing these podcasts, I'm doing a lot of talk about things I'm going to do, but not so much doing them, not creating these videos, these explainer videos and life hacks and things like that. Well, rest assured, I have been filming them. Some of these things, though, I need to wait until specific circumstances occur in order to video how I react to it or respond to it or fix it or make it better. But I'm getting footage recorded and we're going to start seeing some videos soon. Probably, well, I can say definitely in August. As soon as the first week of August? Not sure. Just because I'm going to be out of pocket that last week of the month. One of the cool things though, while I am away camping and have no internet access, I plan on taking my camera bag, all of my lenses, my GoPro, and spending the better part of 4 days just experimenting and becoming a better photographer and a better videographer. And I don't know, maybe even I'll get some lean body mind footage shot while I'm up in northern Wisconsin. But you can count on starting to see more in the way of process videos, more in the way of explainer videos. Well, I haven't done any yet, but you will see explainer videos starting in August. And initially, there's going to be some kitchen hack videos that I think you're going to like. So stay tuned for those. But that is going to be it for this Lean Body Mind podcast. Just a reminder though, on Thursday the 22nd, I will be doing a live stream. Courtney will be with me, I hope, monitoring comments and feeding questions to me so that I can pay attention to you. If you can't make it, you can always watch it later. It'll probably be about an hour long, and maybe if enough of you watch it, that could get me over the threshold for the 4,000 hour mark, and then this channel starts becoming legit. So, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being an early adopter on Lean Body Mind. We'll talk again soon.